Yo, 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 yo. Yeah, I heard that. It's very, very soon. I thought it'd be a lot longer, but apparently not. I will be playing it, though. We will be playing. I'm sure it will be very, very good. One sec. Nah, it'll be good. Yeah, we'll see how that goes, though. We will see how it works out in the end. Well, old Graves Q is just Graves Auto, but better. It's new Graves Auto, but, like, actually good. Were they showing off all the characters already, like the showcase, or is it just what's ever on YouTube from like back in the day? Because I don't think I've seen anything like that yet. Obviously, they're going to do a few of those, but Sean, hello, sir. Yo, yo. Good evening, good evening. Just very busy. This is the first time where I'm able to sit down today. I've just been super, super busy cleaning, and a lot of shit's happening. So I just want to chill out and do some Warhammer and not think too much. It's a good thing. It's a good but tiring thing. Is today's Sunday, right? Is today still the weekend? Yeah, okay, good. As long as you're staying busy or chilling, it's very lovely. Busy than bored? Pretty much. How goes your Sunday? We're chilling. I ate much earlier today. I haven't even had dinner yet, but I don't know if I will. I had a burrito. A burrito was all I needed. I just bought it. Fuck that. I have no time these days to really do much, and there's no way to make a burrito with my schedule currently. The issue with the burritos here is that the people who work there don't know how to cook rice, and so the rice is always hard. It's like, all right, hard rice, sure. I don't know. I got no time to make food. Right now, last few days, no way. I'm just so busy. There's so much shit to do. This is my break time. Break time. Chill break time. Probably not even gonna clean this mini. It's just cooked. There's too many things to do. I did see a movie though. Took a break to go see a little movie. I did see Evil Dead Burn, which I did like. I thought it was a great movie. Bit cruel. I mean, Evil Dead's always been cruel, but like, you know, the Deadites are not good people. They're not good demons. We have Chipotle here, yeah. We have more Mucho Burrito, though, which is like a competitor. It's the same thing. Is my mic fine, by the way? Like, can you hear me clearly, or is it, like, kind of scuffed? I've been trying to find a way to have the microphone not near me, but still be able to be heard. Colombia. That's a whole different beast altogether. I thought you don't live in Colombia. Don't you live in U.S.? Or do you actually live in Colombia? Give me some different music. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's cool. Well, you go where you go. People don't want to stay in one spot forever. Maybe you've got, like, family in Colombia, or you're from there initially. Well, I hope not. You're from there and your family there? Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like me and my girlfriend with Italy, or I've got, like, family in the U.S., but everyone usually gets together over here. The most convincing thing you can do is say you don't sell drugs. Out of nowhere. Everyone will believe you. It's like, how's the weather? Oh, it's pretty good. I don't sell drugs, by the way. forget the weather, bro. Trust me, I don't sell drugs. What is profitable? Oh, yeah. I mean, how you conduct your business, that's not my concern. And stick to school. Grow into someone that your kid would be proud of, you know what I mean? Always get that comment, or are you related to Pablo Escobar? I mean, in high school, people thought I was a drug dealer. I just kind of looked it, you know? I never sold anything or did anything, but you know. Boogie, hello, sir. Yo. Let me know if the microphone sounds like shit, eh? We're trying out a few different things. I don't think it'll sound perfect, because I've got, like, air purifiers running, but I do need to find a way to make the microphone not sound like complete shit. Is it good? Yeah. Sometimes it sounds way too loud. It's good? Okay. You can see it on the camera. It's like right here. it's pinned in front of me on the light. I kind of got sick of it just sticking out of my beard. I mean, the only way to make it louder would be, like, to up the gain. And then if I up the gain, you can hear too much shit kind of around me. I mean, I could try. AC filters. I can add a gain to it. Music is drowning out. Okay, well, I just added gain. Let's do, like, 2 gain. How's that sound? Does that sound worse? Maybe it sounds better? You'd think that I'd know more about this whole situation considering I've done it for like 10 years, but apparently not. I need one of those like professional audio mixers that podcasters use. That'd be lovely. I don't know what XLR is. I'm just using OBS. Is XLR like a sound mixer? I don't know what that is. I'm tech illiterate. Oh, I use Voicemeeter Banana, but like that's more of to split the audio tracks. I don't touch anything. The only thing I have on is a filter for gain, so like you can kind of hear it a bit better. And then like a low end, high end thing, so the mic doesn't sound completely blown out and shit. Which is all done on OBS Studio. Samuel, yo buddy. Because I think you can do that stuff in Banana, I just don't do it. Yeah, whoever did these initial Fire Slayer sculpts, oh my god. They're very, questionable. Yeah. Type of, sobbing for professional studio mics? Oh, that I didn't even know. That I had no idea. It'd be nice to have something like that, though. Technically, the one thing you should have that works fairly well and makes you sound like a professional would be, like, audio. Audio bonuses. There's like a million ways to make your mic sound like complete shit, and a million ways to make it not sound like shit. Is it wrong that I'm getting the itch to play some MK? You can play MKX. People still play it on PC. Or, what is it, MK11? MKX, MK11? Oh, gotcha, yeah, yeah. I could maybe look into that. I mean, the one thing I need is more space. I've been cleaning, packing, downsizing, fucking just trying to make more room here. Still don't have space. I mean, they're pretty cheap on Steam now. Like, really cheap. reasonably cheap. Well, you don't need all the DLC, unless you're going to play DLC characters. The base game should be cheap as fuck. Depends on what you're doing with it, obviously, but yeah. If there's a player base, it's probably the best $30 you'll spend if you're really going to play the game. Like $30 for a game that has like a decently thriving scene, I think. You just have to check the Steam numbers. MKX is good, but it's just so fast. It's like one of the most, literally one of the most, like, abrupt fucking MKs you'll play. If you play any other MK and then play that one, it's like, what the fuck? It's so insane. What about the Fire Slayers is interesting to you? I mean, to be honest, they're a little one-dimensional, but I like the... this sounds a bit weird, but I like the patriarchal... Oh, they got matriarchs and stuff. You've got, like, Fire Queens, but I like the whole family dynamic. It's very, like, old-school dwarves, right? Your king, all the sons vying for the throne, all the rune sons who go out and try and, like, make a name for themselves. I like that. That's probably one of the coolest things. And that the fucking rune father carries around, like, the lodge's fucking key to the Urgold. Like, that's really cool. Otherwise, they're just kind of, you know... Hey, we're out for Urgold, and we'll work with anyone as long as you've got it, right? They're not, like, the most dwarvish of dwarves, but in Age of Sigmar, nothing really is. They're interesting. They're very different. They're very, very different. I just wish they had more dynamics, like super religious, save Grimnir at all costs. Yeah, Votann are cool. I've got a bit of Votann. I've had them since release, and then I sold them, and then I got them back again. They're a good interpretation, but they're not like true dwarves, you know? Like, in essence, they're dwarves. Their lore is very dwarvish. But, like, they're just like a bunch of cloned abhuman freakos. Beat Kingdom Come 1 enjoyed it so much I want to get 2, but it's 32 Canadian on sale. Well, that's a pretty good deal, no? Aren't those games, like, really long? Like, $30 for a game that's, like, incredibly long sounds good, no? MKX on PC is $4 on G2A. Well, there you go. You just buy it on G2A. Swear to God, all that stuff's stolen, but, like, $4, you can't go wrong. Yeah, you're good, bro. No worries. Save and, penny pinch for a little bit. Yes, variety is this week. We are getting back to variety this week. $6 with the DLC. See, look at that. It's again, it's probably stolen somewhere. Like, that's cool. Well, it's not cool, but you know what I mean. We're still playing Dying Light. We have to beat Dying Light. That's like the most important thing to beat currently. Dying Light. Dying Light 2. We haven't played Variety in a while, man. We never did beat it. I would say Dying Light 1's a little better than 2, I'm not gonna lie. The fluidity of 1 is, like, certainly something compared to 2. 2 is very sluggish. A little bit more grittier. Not a bad game by any means, but yeah. Excuse me. Oh, did he get you the game? Did he buy you fucking MKX? That's what it sounds like. That's awesome. G2A. Stolen. I mean, look, you get a good deal, right? That doesn't sound terrible. See, the thing with DLC is how much of it are you even going to play? Some people go all in and they play everything. Others are just like, yeah, that's cool. DLC, great. Thank God they don't make you buy everything. I don't know much about AOS lore, so I skimmed the Fireslayer wiki. Are they basically just a faction that worship our descendants of Grimnir? They're the dwarves of the realms who initially worshipped Grimnir and followed in his footsteps and his teachings. And to fulfill a debt to Sigmar, after Sigmar saved Grungni and Grimnir, which we now know those two were basically bound together due to Hashut's sorcery. He gave them like little gifts. He's also an ancestor god if you know like dwarf stuff. But to fulfill a debt with Sigmar, he was tasked with killing a god beast. So he went off and he kind of died while slaying Volcatrix, which was like this big salamander, which now the Fire Slayers also kind of like revere in a way, just because, you know, if you're strong enough to kill a god, their god specifically, you know, they're going to view that in some sort of way. So effectively, the Fire Slayers are a godless dwarf faction who, through any means necessary, are trying to gather Urgold, which is the essence of Grimnir after he imploded with Volcatrix, like after they both blew up. And they believe that once they acquire enough of it, hammer it into their body, and then expend that power of Grimnir, that it'll all coalesce back into him, and then he'll turn, you know, and be reborn. That's basically the gist of the Fire Slayers. And also the Urgold is a conjoined mix of like Volcatrix blood, Grimnir essence. It forms into gold and is like typical gold. You can mine it in little seams and stuff like that. But they'll take contracts with Chaos. They'll work with the undead. They're a very, I would say, sad faction, to be honest, if a dwarf has to work with Chaos or even like the undead. If they're that lowly, you know, because they're godless. So that's basically the Fire Slayers. There really isn't much else to them. Revive Grimnir at any cost. Yeah. Grungni basically said, Yada, I'm out. And the Caradron kind of have to, well, not all of them. There are Skyports. I think it was Barrack Thring, which still reveres Grungni. And technically Grungni right now, currently in lore, is actually trying to reunite the dwarves. So he's visited, I believe he's visited a few Fireslayer lodges. He's gone through a few Skyports, and he's in talks to kind of have everyone, you know, hey, let's get together and do something, right? Because everyone's just so fractured. The Fireslayers don't necessarily like the Caradron, back and forth. Yeah, the dwarves in Age of Sigmar are very, I wouldn't say against each other, but like they're not like a unified force. In some cases, in certain realms, you'll have like Fireslayers working with Caradron, blah blah blah, but like the overall arcing thing is that the dwarves are so separated, and you know, let's do something with that. Shared a hilarious video in your Discord stream. Couldn't find a better shitpost channel. Yeah, I can check it out. AOS lore isn't bad. Like, the Fireslayer lore and the Caradron lore is actually good, but it's not your typical dwarf lore, and I think that's why it's good. Right? Like, a lot of people want classic dwarves in Age of Sigmar, even though we have, like, Old World, and you could just go play classic dwarves in Old World. Or you can play a take on dwarves in, like, 40k currently with the Votann. Or even Necromunda, which is just, like, proto-Votann. Or older Votann. But they're supposed to be coming out with, like, a third dwarf faction, which is, like, the classic Dispossessed, the ones who are in the Carax, like the big mountain holds. Who are now also intermingled within cities and stuff like that, but there's a lot of shit on the horizon for dwarves. Tons of stuff. Which is cool. It's like, people really like dwarves. And they will sell. So that's fun. Hopefully that comes out soon. Ideally. Most of this info in the battle tomes. So I'm not like the biggest Age of Sigmar nut. Over the years, I've had to come to terms with liking Age of Sigmar. Specifically the model ranges as well. Like, I had a Fireslayer army when they first came out, sold it. Had a Caradron army when they first came out, sold it. I just couldn't get around the miniatures. Lore was always fine. Currently, where it stands, book-wise, I've read the Grombrindle book, the first one that came out. I haven't tackled the second one. I've read a few of the Gotrek books, a few of the short stories for the Caradron, and I think the audiobooks that initially came out for Age of Sigmar, which was like Heirs of Grimnir, which I believe was about the lodge that actually finds Gotrek when he first arrives in Age of Sigmar. You like, well, you know, I'm just such a fantasy nut that, like, I'm one of those guys where it's like, the old stuff is the best stuff, you know, and then I'm like, what, like, Slayers, but, like, uglier. Like, the lore is fine, but, like, I don't want to look at these minis. I don't think they're very good. But again, I've come to terms with them. I'm building Fire Slayers now. Like, I've got a whole 2,000 point Fire Slayer army that I'm going to be working on. For good this time and not selling them. So, yeah, for the sake of lore, I mean, the problem with the books is that they're always compounded. So, like, if you can go back and buy all the Fire Slayer battle tomes, it's worth doing because they're all just compounded lore. Like, each one of them adds their own depth. I would say the third one, if anything, wasn't the most in-depth. The second one's pretty good. First one, I have to go dig out. But yeah, so the battle tomes, and if you can find the older ones, I think there's about, what, 3 Caradron, 3 Fire Slayers? Or 4, it should be like, what, 4 Caradron, 3 Fire Slayers? You'll get the gist of the lore there, and then, of course, you've got, like, standalone books. They've got, like, an anthology series for the Fire Slayers that has 3 of them. There's a ton of short-storied Caradron ones. Again, Grombrindle, Tales of the Wanderer, the book that came out, I think it was David Geimer. That's such a great book. If you like dwarves in Age of Sigmar, that's probably, like, one that you have to read just because it tackles each of the sub-factions. So, like, they'll have a Fire Slayer bit, and then they'll have, like, a Caradron bit, and they even have, like, a Dispossessed bit, like the classic dwarves. It's super good. Post AOS. Yeah. If you, again, if you can go back and, or post fantasy, you mean, if you can go back and find the old tomes, they're worth picking up just for the sake of lore. So yeah, Dwarf Commander and Warhammer, what would your name be and your weapon of choice? I don't even know. I think at Baldur's Gate our guy was Togrek Fent Delver. And a crossbow, which was cool. That was fun. I like dwarves, but I'm not, like, role-playing one, you know? For Baldur's Gate I did, sure, that was fun, but you gotta go with the classics. The crossbow, the hammer, no swords, none of that nonsense. I'm not really a big Hellsmith fan, to be honest. I've never really liked the Chaos Dwarves. I think the most intriguing thing about Chaos Dwarves is learning, like, the new book that came out. I think there was one. I don't think I'd ever buy it, to be honest, just because I have so much to read already. But if I'm not mistaken, the army book is excellent. I've read that. I own, I think, like 2 copies of it. And then they also did one with the Cities of Sigmar chick on, like, the Chimera. I forgot her name, but apparently there's, like, a giant Chaos Dwarf incursion going on in that book that's, like, invading a city. I would say those 2 are, like, maybe your go-tos as of right now, because they did just come out, right? But the army books are great, like, for the gist of, like, the race's lore. Because I don't think you're going to get, like, a standalone Hellsmith novel anytime soon. And it's just going to be them being disgusting freaks, because that's what they are. They're freaks. So, I'd say those 2 things, I believe, are kind of what's, like, currently available. There may be something else that I might have missed, but yeah, they're very, very important right now for the sake of dwarves, though. Knowing that, like, Hashut is an ancestor god, the eldest of the bunch, that's probably the biggest bombshell you could ever have in any dwarf lore related to, like, the Chaos Dwarves and the regular dwarves. Knowing that it was some sort of schism, right? They in their book, they're like, oh, they spat on Hashut's, like, you know, teachings, and his way. When he did something, they never respected him, and he's like, well, I'll go off and do all this stuff, and that's it, you know. Like, I don't think they would do that, but the army books do try to sell you very heavily on the army you're playing, so. Yeah, that's fun. I think those two, though, for sure, if you can find it. I forgot what the, what was the novel called? I think her name was Talia Vedra. I think it's that novel. It's called First Marshal. I believe that's the one with the Chaos Dwarves. Oh, you also said Chorf books. Oh, technically Fantasy Dwarves. What was it? Where were they all located? You can go back and get, like, what, the 4th or 5th edition supplement, if you can find one. It's probably one of your best bets. Beyond that, I mean, you've got, like, Road of Skulls. Gotrek and Felix has, like, a whole massive Chaos Dwarf thing going on in there. You've got... What was... I think it was Tamarcon. Tamarcon as well has, like, the whole Chorf, army list and everything, and then they have the whole story about Tamarcon invading the Empire with the Chorfs. So that was, that's what, 3 so far? I think that's, off the top of my head, what I can think of, maybe. I hate them. They're just nasty. But they're a classic thing. It's like, if you've got regular dwarves, Chaos Dwarves are somewhere. Waiting for MKX to download, you're 100% right. This game still has a larger... Yeah, you should just play it. It's probably worth the money, and that someone gifted you it, that's even better. It's like, why not, you know? It's like any fighting game. Once you've played it enough, you're just kind of like, I want something new. There's a reason we don't even play Total War anymore, right? And I love that game. A standalone book would be cool to have. Yeah, right now I don't think there's anything, to be honest. Since they just came out, I don't really know how they want to tackle that. Like, as a standalone book. It would be cool. Like, I would probably buy it and read it. I'm not really inclined to buy a book of, like Age of Sigmar, Cities of Sigmar stuff and be like, you know, let me read this as my next read because I've got tons of other things to do, but a standalone would be better, for sure. We're like, they're the main focus. Yeah. Because they've been out of the game for a long time. Like, they're very, very exotic, I think is a good word to use for the Chaos Dwarves. Back in the day, all metal. Oh, they had a few plastics, technically, but beyond that, all resin. A super exotic army. You never saw them on the tabletop. And if you did, it was just like, this is ghoulish, man. It's cool. But they're very exotic. These days, maybe not so much, because you can have them all in plastic, and they're all, like, you know, up-to-date Age of Sigmar. But, yeah, they're very interesting. The, I think the most interesting bit from that book was, like, I forgot what they call their holds. I think it's just like ziggurats. But they have one that's in like a sea, like an ocean, and it's like a giant oil rig, and it just kind of walks around like a crab. Like, that's ghoulish. It's very fun. If they're popular enough, or maybe not even popular enough, I don't think that really dictates whether a book's going to get made or not, but, like, who knows? I suspect something. Be lovely. Um, in the Age of Chaos, when the dwarven holds were getting assailed, instead of fleeing, they'd kind of like buckled down and ended up just using demons as like fuel. And then Hashut showed up and was like, blah, 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 blah. You know, he's whispering sweet nothings into their ears the whole time, so they just kind of dig in and, like, you know, with the stuff of chaos, become chaos. So it makes sense in Age of Sigmar. In the end times, they all got fucked up by Grimgor, which is a very fitting end. Like, it makes sense as to how they even came to be in AOS, though, 100%. They truly believe that they're the inheritors of the dwarf race. All the pussy dwarves that they view as, like, cowards and cravens for running away and fleeing to Azir, or becoming, like, recluses in their magma holds, or flying off to become the Caradron. Like, they're the original dwarves who withheld chaos by becoming chaos. Being corrupted and Damon fuel for the fire. Yeah, so, they're delusional. Delulu. It's a pretty interesting thing, yeah. I mean, even for the sake of fantasy, when they were all cut off, forgot what it was called. It's been a while since I've read fantasy lore, but it was, when the demons were, like, going across the world, some of the dwarves were all cut off from their holds, and then, you know, they prayed, no ancestor god showed up, and then Hashut kind of said, blah, 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 blah. And then they became the Chaos Dwarves in the Darklands. Horus Heresy Army? I don't really like Horus Heresy now. I'm not like a... I used to be big into 40k, not so much anymore. I don't think the Horus Heresy is really my thing. So I don't have any Horus Heresy stuff. What I want to see is, like, the thing about dwarves is their biggest shame, no matter what it might be, where they might be, or whatever, their biggest shame has always been the Chaos Dwarves. How could someone so honorable, so skilled, fall to such, like, absolute lows? In Age of Sigmar, well, that's not a very tall order, right? Like, Fire Slayers are kind of scum, Caradron are scum, but, like, the Hellsmiths are the ultimate scum. So, it'll be interesting to see, with the new Dwarf faction, how that relates to the Chaos Dwarves. Because even in fantasy, you know, they really don't want to believe that they're a thing. You don't mention it, you don't talk about it, hush hush. How could a mighty dwarf ever become so disturbing? Which is interesting, though, because they're still very dwarvish. Just in a perverse way. Like, they still obsess, they still create, they still do things like dwarves, but in just a perverse way. I remember when the Hellsmiths came out, and a lot of people hated them. But a lot of people hated them because they loved fantasy so much. It's like, yeah. That's kind of just how fantasy fans are sometimes. That's how I was. It's like, where's the hats? Where's the hair? Everything looks so clean. Like, where's the soot-covered freakos? But I like that they're distinct. I like that they look a little bit more technologically advanced, I guess you could say, for the sake of Age of Sigmar. Everything looks very dialed in, technology-wise. Which is how it should be in AOS. AOS is always meant to be a little bit crazier. But still very Chaos Dwarf. Very reminiscent of what they came from. Nothing should ever be a one-to-one. Because then what would be the point of Age of Sigmar? It's like, we did all of that work just to put them back in a game. But it's like, yeah, we got Old World now. So we technically don't want that, right? Just put them back in Old World. And then whatever you make in Age of Sigmar needs to look Age of Sigmar. Like, even the ogres in AOS, although very, very, very good, the new, like, sculpts that they showed, they look a little bit fantasy. Like, pretty fantasy. So the question would always be, could they have gone further? Could they have made the distinction a little bit starker? But they look great regardless. So I wonder how they're going to tackle that with, like, the regular dwarves. Because that's the next big thing coming out. Is, like, the supposed Kazalid holds, which is your, remaining classic dwarves in Age of Sigmar. Because they exist. Be cool to see them. The more the merrier. Excuse me. Alright, what's next? Let's do the loincloth. Never mind, let's not do the loincloth.
Shut up, you dickhead, now fuck off!
Yo, Chunk, thank you, sir. Hey, for the prime, appreciate it, man, thank you. Yeah, Chaos Dwarf stuff is a bit scant right now, but, like, if you like him enough, I mean, they're probably gonna get something, man. They're, like, the second newest faction to get something. Technically the last newest faction, but yeah. Definitely gotta see where that goes. I'd love to see them come back for Old World, though. They'd most likely keep the old Forge World kits and then reintroduce, like, new plastics for warriors and whatnot, but yeah, bit of a tall order there. When it comes to Games Workshop, it's about money. Well, it's very divided, I think is the best way to put it. You have a lot of the classic stuff, which is great. It's all sculpted by, like, the Perrys, who, if you know the Perry twins, those guys just kill anything they touch. Yeah, the old range is great, but unless you're going for, like, a very specific old hammer style of, like, Force, that's its own aesthetic. They don't really blend in too well with, like, the Forge World stuff, in my opinion, but different eras, different, what's the word? There's a specific word. Anyway, different sculpting style, but there's a word for it. But yeah, the most cohesive force you have right now is probably with Hellsmiths. That's the only one that's readily available anyways, so. Sculpting philosophy, that's what it was. Big hats, big hands, big heads, big feet. Big dopey looking characters. Now everything's like realistic looking. Which the Age of Sigmar stuff looks fucking amazing. I'd love a Fireslayer refresh. Oh my god. Like, night and day. The new Age of Sigmar stuff is, like, phenomenal. Whole different ballpark from, like, first, second edition classic AOS minis. Instead of going for, like, the heroic scale, stylized look, everything is just more proportional. Everything is more realistic and gritty. Which is what Age of Sigmar, in my opinion, needed for so long to kind of capture what some of the artwork was showing. Come to think of it, I don't think there's a bigger, how many fucking elf factions do you have in AOS currently? Lumineth, Ideneth, they have, like, the Sylvaneth stuff, and then they're supposed to be coming out with, Malekith's, like, shadowy force as well eventually. Technically 4 elven factions. With the new Kazlid holds that come out, there's also going to be 4 dwarf factions. So, like, you're not really pressed for dwarf minis, but preference is always the name of the game. Yeah, they shower. They're nasty. Imagine showering. That just makes you dirtier in fantasy. I mean, okay. There's a few, like, as much as I love dwarves, there was an elf that gave me a chuckle. It was the, Phoenix King at the time, during, the War of Vengeance, the War of the Beard. It's like the big event where the elves and the dwarves kind of just kill each other forever. And if you've ever read that book, when the dwarven emissaries arrive on Ulthuan and they're trying to go talk to the Phoenix King about, hey, what's going on? That guy is such a douche, but it's like so funny. Everything is just so, like, it's just mean, but it's funny. It has been a while since I've read that book, but I still remember it. Like, he's throwing some serious shade here, but, like, is he wrong? Are they not, like, dirt delving, unshowered, sweaty rats? Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, the elves always think they're better than everyone. They're not gonna dress lowly or smell lowly or look lowly. Oh, for sure. But that's what makes Warhammer so cool, is that you've got that diversity. If everyone looked like a dwarf, it'd be boring. The reason dwarves are so cool is that they're they're dwarves. They're not like anyone else. I do agree, though. I don't like the aesthetic. Too clean. Not rough around the edges. Maybe mentally, but they're not like your working man's army, you know? You gotta stay on that grind set. And I think for Warhammer, or any game in general, Aesthetic is so important because it's what you're looking at the entire time. It's like you made, like, for the sake of the Fire Slayers and the Caradron, for the longest time, I just looked at them and I was like, this isn't really my dwarf. And, you know, over time, you're, like, staring at them more, and you read more, and you're like, all right, you know what? Sure. So, things can grow on you. I've never been interested in elves, even in the slightest, so... Although I will say this. Eldar Guardians in 40k. I think that was a Jez Goodwin design, if I'm not mistaken. Like the Eldar stuff looks so slick. The Beal Tan, like, green, white, and red is such a slick color scheme. And elves translated perfectly into space, right? So... Cities of Sigmar dwarf models. We don't even have them yet, no? You talking about the old ones that used to be in, like, first edition cities? Because those were just rehashed fantasy minis. I mean, those are great. Those are just fantasy, right? They're all from 8th edition. Which was weird to, like, refresh fantasy and then be like, okay, it's just dead. Those sculpts are amazing. I love them. But, yeah, they're very fantasy. I don't like looking at them in Age of Sigmar, but they're gonna get redone. That's the biggest thing. They're gonna get a whole new update, preferably with some sort of, like, golems, steam-powered things, just, like, crazy Grung on crack, like, faction. Like, bring back the shield walls, bring out the inventions, stuff like that. It'll be your typical fantasy dwarf, like, turned up to 11. Which I cannot wait for, because that's going to be so sick. I don't think you could even play them anymore, though. They got squatted when the cities really diverted from, like, the whole co-op force deal with, like, the elves and the dwarves and everything. Yeah, so they're just straight up gone. Which I think is for the better. You know, if you want to play Cities of Sigmar, you're probably playing them for the humans, not for the dwarves or anything, but... Well, that's exactly what they're going to be bringing back, hopefully. You're going to get the classic, like, dwarven shield wall. Everyone's, like, head to toe in Gromril or some sort of, like, different armor. Like, that's 99% what you're probably going to get for Age of Sigmar. That's basically what's missing, is you're just missing anvils, right? You've got your hammer and the Fire Slayers. You've got a bit of both in the Caradron. And you're just missing, like, the slow approach of, like, a shield wall. And maybe some stationary artillery, right? So that's definitely coming. When? That's a good question. I have no idea. It'd be nice to know. I'd really just want to read the book more than anything. Like, holy fuck. New dwarf art, new everything. That'd be so cool. And everyone loves dwarves. There's so many books about dwarves. There's a million. Like, you're probably going to get, like, a new dwarf book before a new, you know, Chaos Dwarf book. Musty Bud, hello, sir. Very busy. Pretty busy. We've just been cleaning and doing things all day. So now we're just chilling. It's one of those quiet Sundays, which I definitely don't mind. Can't really go wrong with a quiet Sunday. Let's do this. I saw Evil Dead Burn yesterday. That's something. Yeah, you guys are all over the place. I will be here regardless, but if you are heading out, peace, peace, brother. I am so tired. So me doing this is like the absolute most I'll be doing probably today. Just cleaning up mold lines and going to bed. Which is not exciting at all. It's like the least exciting thing. Just for tonight, yeah. It's only about 10:30. I'll probably go to bed in like half an hour. I have got some stuff to do. It is Monday. Well, I'm gonna try and be on tomorrow for the main channel. So hopefully if work is shit, at least you can watch me be shit at games. So it's like double shit. Actually, I'm not that shit at games. I'm okay at games. Yes, tomorrow. Tomorrow, hopefully for League. I'm not really doing anything outside of still cleaning. I have to kind of get this whole place sorted in the next, like, month or so, and everything has to be in storage. I think this room is kind of safe for now, but yeah. It's a bit of a task. Yeah, basically. Everyone needs noise. Even if you don't watch it, it's just noise. When I was cleaning today, I put on fucking the 2013 Evil Dead. And for me, it was just noise. But it was good. It was good fucked up noise. It kept me sane. While everyone else went insane. It's a well, I've detailed it in Discord. There's a whole thing you can read. We just don't know yet. But the move is happening. We just don't have a date. But it's in the main Discord. It was during the support-a-thon. Sane. I don't want to go play Street Fighter. Every time I listen to Riskaya, I'm like, it's Street Fighter time. And I play that game and I get pissed off. It's like, you get to press 500 buttons, and I don't? It's like, fuck off. Yeah, I mean, I'd have to re-download all that stuff, but it's popping again. People don't want to play MK1. Pretty sure MK1's not even, like, supported at most, like, events anymore. It is fun, though. I think I remember playing, when I was at a Montreal event, I joined a Street Fighter 6 tournament, and they also had, like, MKX going on at the time, and I think I joined in on that, but I got, like, shit on immediately because I haven't played in so long. It is good, though. I mean, that's... Okay, the other two numbers, though, like, forget the new numbers for the new game. Like, that's kind of pitiful, but, like, the old numbers are great. That's great. What about MK9? They actually have MK9 on Steam, but it's, like, horrible netcode. It's, like, virtually unplayable. Battlesmith, why do you look exactly like every other fucking person in the army? Genetics. Whoop. Oh, they play on private server? Yeah, I was gonna say the netcode is so shit. I'd go back and play MK9. To me, that's like classic League. That's like my comfort kind of game. It's so good. It's so arcadey. It's like the best way to describe it. It's just so easy, fluid. It just felt great. It was still greasy, but not like as greasy as the new games. Like, yeah, everyone played Cabal and Cyrax. That's the life you live, but... I think I miss MKX the most, I'm not gonna lie. MKX had like the perfect Kano. What? Huh? Okay. Hey, give me like 15 minutes. I'll be done in 15. All right, 15 minutes. We gotta go. The woman does call. We've been busy all day, though, to be fair, so it's good that I get off soon, anyways. Busy, busy, busy. I gotta bag up like 400 fucking magazines. That's not fun. And that's like tip of the iceberg nonsense. But either way, it's Sunday, and I'm chilling right now, so it's okay. Na, na. Oh, it's really nice these days. It's super nice. It was dreadful for like a week, and then it became totally bearable, totally fine. No problems. Which is good. Spam God, yo, buddy. Played like 5 matches at different queue times, less than 15 seconds. Yeah, it's great. I would imagine. Fighting games will always hold the place in everyone's heart. Each one is so, like, hopefully distinct. Distinct enough to want to be played. Especially old MKs. I gotta go soon. Try and finish this loincloth and I gotta head out. It's so fast. It's it's probably the fastest game in the whole franchise now. There's a fucking run button. Forget drive rush, you just run. All right, let's put some sprue goo on this bitch. Sprue goo. Time to goop them up. Oop. What's left for this guy? The head. Throwing axes. Put all this shit here. This is just so, like... Not all large weapons are cool. Some of them are just, like, overly designed. It's just too big. Sometimes it's too much. Ba-da-bum-bum-bum-bum. All right, folks, I gotta go. Bit of a short stream. It's pretty late for me. I'm very tired, actually. So I will be on tomorrow. We're gonna do League. I might do Warhammer in the morning. We'll see. I've just been so busy. Super, super busy. Cleaning, downsizing, putting things in storage. It's like the preliminary steps for a move. We don't know when we're moving yet, but like there's a lot of stuff that has to be done like right now. So yeah, with that being said, take care of yourselves. Thank you for hanging out. And I will catch you all tomorrow or the next time I see you. Whenever that may be. So peace, peace. And take care, folks. Be good.